Hey everybody, what's good? It's Professor Khalil Amani. Camera a little bit there we go. It's Professor Khalil Amani. And just a little lighthearted video. Come on and talk my shit. Shout out to the team. Leak You Interloper Nation. Shout out to all the good folks that come over here and check out what I'm saying. Y'all know I'm retired. I'm letting the beard just kind of go. Got a real good trip coming up next week. That's right. Going to be in Tampa, Florida, Daytona Beach, Florida, and Miami, Florida next week. By myself. It's a guy's trip. You see, J. Mike, Florida. I talked about this in my series. This fuck nigga J. Mike Florida says, how dare you go on a trip or a vacation without your wife? That's what he said. How dare you go on a trip or a vacation without your wife? And here we are. I'm about to go on a trip and a vacation without the wife. But, I'm not going to leave my wife at home. I have a sister-in-law who's here right now. She's been here for 2 weeks. Since the wedding, she's been with us. She's single, sexy and free, and she lives in Phoenix, Arizona. And she drove all the way from Phoenix to be here for these 3 weeks with us. So when I leave next week, my wife is going to drive back with her to Phoenix, Arizona, and stay there for about a week and a half. Whenever she want to come home, she'll fly back. But while she's in Phoenix, I'll be doing my obligatory guy's trip. I'm going to go to Tampa to visit my son and my grandkids. I'll be there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday I'll wake up and I'll drive to Daytona Beach. I'll be there for a few hours. It's about a 2.5 hour drive. I just want to go back to my alma mater, Bethune-Cookman University, and HBCU. Hopefully I'll catch the marching band practicing and talk to people and just, you know, walk the campus and get me some college, get me some university gear, maybe a hoodie, a hat, you know, something with BCU, Bethune-Cookman University. I'll be there for just a couple hours. And then I will take that 4.5 hour drive from Daytona Beach to Miami, Florida that Friday evening. I'll get there and I'll be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I'll leave on Monday and come back to Denver. That is my itinerary. So you're going to get a host of videos coming up showing the good times. It's a guy's retreat. A guy's retreat. That's right. When you have a great life with a great wife, you can do that. I'll be out of town, and she'll be out of town with her sisters. And then when we come back, we will do our beautiful, lovely, and romantic vacation. We're going to San Francisco, Los Angeles, and San Diego. Me and the wifey. That's how we do it. But that bitch nigga J. Mike, Florida, was talking about how dare you go on vacation without your wife. Only a bitch nigga that's not married, who's never been in a long-term relationship would think that. See, when the relationship, when the relationship or the marriage is like new, like 2 years old, yeah, you go everywhere together. But when you get past 15, 20 years, as I am, 23 years, it's good to have that alone and away time, that me time. And trust me, my wife has been retired for about 8, 9 years, and she goes on girls' trips 2 and 3 times a year, while I stay back here and work. So it's been a couple years since I've been able to do my guys' retreat, where I have a little me time. And I'm going to get it in. So don't think that my relationship is on the skids, on the rocks. We both like this. We love to go our separate ways so we can come back together and miss each other. Yeah. And then after we do the California trip, we're going to do like a 4-day, 4 nights in Las Vegas after that. We're going to wait till September when it's my wife's birthday, and we'll do that. So I got these things planned, and eventually I'm going to go back to work. Am I missing work? Yeah, I'm missing work. But I'm not missing work that much because my bank account is woo! That retirement money. Those retirement, money that's dropping. Those 6-figure checks that are dropping. 5-figure check here, 6-figure check there, another 6-figure check there. They dropping. They going direct deposit. I done been to the casino like 3-4 times in the last 2 weeks. We went to the casino last night on a Wednesday night. On a Wednesday night, we left about 6 o'clock in the evening and got home about 1 o'clock in the morning. We can do that now. We both retired. And we got money. I'm not going to splurge too much, but I'm going to get it in. Bought me some new headphones today. Oops. Yesterday I bought these. When I retired, for my 20 years at my job, they gave me some Beats by Dre, and I'm such a good grandfather. I gave a brand new pair of Beats by Dre to one of my grandsons, my teenage grandson. So yesterday I went to Best Buy and I bought me some more Beats. They came in this fancy, this is the box they came in, a fancy schmancy box like this. But here they go right here. I love Bose. Bose are actually a better quality than Beats, and Bose are more expensive than Beats. But I got a pair of Bose that are raggedy, but they still sound good, but they're not good enough to go traveling, go to the airport. They're ratty. I sleep in them when I want to go to sleep. I'll put them on, and, so this is all mashed up and, it's all beat up. So I went out and bought these. These were about $210 with taxes. This is like probably my 5th pair. But I like the way they snug on your head. Let me see, you make sure you got the right side. I'll do it later. But they're snug. They look cool walking through an airport. They come in this, they come in the case, and you get this fancy schmancy thing to put them in. These fold up like this. Beats by Dre. It's a good headphone. It's popular with the young people. They go in the case like this, and again they came in a fancy schmancy case like this. And I'm just showing off. Yeah, there they go. And there they go. They're in the case. So yeah, I bought those yesterday, and that's that. But let's have some fun. Just want to come on and talk some shit. You know, I'm just updating y'all on my life. I haven't been, you know, really active. I got all this free time, and I don't even feel like doing YouTube. I just be doing, you know, y'all see, I've been doing my thing. I just ain't been wanting to come on camera. But we come on camera. Yeah, we're gonna go. Probably Monday. I'm gonna go to the barber. I'm gonna have them super tape this up. You know, I'm letting it just go wild right now, so I can get it back. I'm gonna go gray. I love going gray and then going back black. I get tired of gray. I go back black. It don't matter. I could do that. Certainly, when I finally get a job interview, I'm gonna take it off and go to my black so I can look a little bit younger to entice them to go ahead and hire me. Not that they should be worried about my age. You know, America has something about age discrimination, but still, people still be, you know, he might be a little, you know, he's 65. How long is he gonna work for us? And he's 65. What, 5 years? The man will be 70. Nah, we ain't gonna hire him. You know, I get it. But yeah, we're gonna have some fun, talk some shit. So let's just get right into it. Y'all know I've been watching those motherfuckers over there. The pizzy-gwizzy bullshit that's going on. So the latest thing from the trout mouth child abuser, you know, the ex-prostitute, ex-junkie, yeah, that chick. The latest thing from her is, I don't know what this bullshit she's talking. That Sodnetter is watching her, and Sodnetter is copying her style of YouTube. This shit is hilarious. Gwinnetta Greer, the so-called YouTube Streets queen, she gets no views, but she's insistent that a man that has over 200,000 subscribers, Sodnetter, House of Consciousness. And by the way, it's the House of Consciousness, not the House of Conscious. That's what the Israel doctrine says, and that's what Gwinnetta Greer say. Oh yeah, the House of Conscious. Yeah, Sodnetter, the House of Conscious. It's the House of Consciousness. You niggas are always bastardizing words, but that's what we've come to expect that from y'all. But how dare this trout mouth fake ass queen think that a man of Sodnetter's caliber is copying her style of YouTubery. That's her new thing. She came out here the other day threatening to destroy the conscious community single-handedly. This lying trout mouth child abuser, she's going to destroy the conscious community and Sodnetter single-handedly. And her reasoning is because she's saying that Sodnetter is copying her the way she does YouTube. You know, because sometimes the king and the queen, you know, Gwinnetta Greer and Israel Doctrine, you know, how they argue back at each other and they disrespect one another and they call each other bitch ass niggas and ignorant motherfuckers and how they wish death on each other and shit like that. You know all the disrespectful shit they say to each other? Well, every now and again, Sodnetter and Sister Nepal Shada, they too get into it on camera. Not as bad, but they get into it. They got into it the other day. Sodnetter was talking and Nepal came on and she was, according to Sodnetter, she was trying to change the conversation and he started screaming at her and barking at her and they had a back and forth, blah, 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 blah. But that's not the first time. Sodnetter and Nepal, they have on occasion had arguments online. But the YouTube Streets Queen, you know, this crazy trout mouth heifer, she thinks that's an antic. She thinks that that is a modus operandi. She thinks that's a MO. She thinks that the arguing model is a model that Sonetter and Sister Nepal are stealing and using and plagiarizing and stealing and filching from her and Pizzy. Now, the Queen, this chick has said on several occasions, she doesn't watch Khalil Amani. She says on many occasions, she doesn't watch Sonetter. She doesn't watch the conscious community. So if she doesn't watch Sonetter, if she doesn't watch the conscious community, why would she think that if she sees them arguing on camera, that it is a device, a modus operandi, that it is a model, that it is an archetype that they are borrowing and stealing from Pizzy and Gwizzy? Why would she think that? I mean, it's sad when I see Sonetter and Nepal argue on camera, but that's what they do. They get emotional and they let it out on camera. But this is what the trout mouth queen is talking about. She's warned Sonetter. She's warned him. If you do it again, you got one more time. And I'm coming for you, Sonetter. Or as she likes to call Sonetter, Shanetter. Yeah. You know when your teeth is fucked up. She don't call him Sonetter. She calls him Sha. I said, she don't call him Sonetter. I said, the trout mouth child abusing queen. She can't say Sa. She says Shanetter. She puts an H in that biatch. Oh yeah, Shanetter. Hey, Shanetter. Shanetter. You got one more time, Shanetter. You got one. I'm warning you, Shanetter. I'm gonna tear the whole conscious community down. If you steal my model of YouTubing one more time, I'm gonna shut you down, Shanetter. Newsflash. Newsflash. It's not against YouTube policy to copy the way a YouTuber does their YouTubing. What is she talking about? I said it's not against YouTube policy to copy or to mimic or to ape or to regurgitate or to upchuck or to vomit or to imitate or to emulate the way somebody does YouTube. Where is she getting this ideal that she has the power to tear down Sonetter's channel because Sonetter and Nepal argue on camera and that's some shit that they got. They got it from Pizzy and Gwizzy. No, they didn't. Sonetter and Sister Nepal been arguing for years. Hell, they had such bad arguments in the past that they split up and broke up. That they called it quits. They ended their marriage, their divorce. They separated. There's one time when Sister Nepal was over on other channels talking about Sonetter. They've had some bad breakups. But as they say in Living Color, we still together. So bitch, Sonetter is not paying you any attention. He don't know what the fuck you're talking about. He ain't paying you no attention. You got 3 channels with 800 subscribers on your big channel and 15 and 18 subscribers on your other channels, and nobody's commenting on your stuff. No one's watching you besides someone like me for entertainment. Sonetta has a whole YouTube plaque on his wall behind him for getting 100,000 plus subscribers. What the fuck is he interested in someone like this so-called YouTube Streets Queen that ain't got a following? Nobody drops down in her lives. Nobody fucks with her. If I wasn't talking about that chop mouth fake ass queen, if Lee Q wouldn't talk about her every now and again, Lee Q don't hardly talk about the bitch no more. But between me and Lee Q, if we didn't talk about her, she would really be dead in the water. But you know what this is all about? How they say this is a play. That's the new word. This is a play. You know what the play is? Israel Doctrine, he wants to debate Sonnetter so bad. This is a play. They've already talked about it on the phone. They've already talked about it on the phone. I got a new phone case too. Woohoo! $20. It's just a play. Israel Doctrine's next debate victim, he wants it to be Sonnetter. So they concocted this whole stupid scenario that Sonnetter and Sister Nepal are copying the model of YouTubing that this trout mouth lying chick is doing. The man has over, on one of his channels, on one of Sonnetter's channel, he has over 200,000 subscribers. On his other channel, he has 189,000 subscribers. What then, pray tell, does he need to copy a chick that only has 800 subscribers on one channel and 20 subscribers and 18 subscribers on her other channel? I mean, imagine that. Imagine a guy who's got 2 YouTube plaques for having 2 channels that have gone over 100,000 subscribers. Sonnetter has one channel with 200,000 subscribers and another channel with 189,000 subscribers. Basically, close to 400,000 people have subscribed to Sonnetter's channels. And this bitch, Gwinnetta Greer, thinks that a man with 400,000 subscribers is watching her, is copying her, is looking for pointers to try to build his channel up. Let me go over to this woman's channel that has 800 subscribers and see how I can build my channel up. If anything, Pizzy and Gwizzy should be going to Sonnetter's and trying to find out how he got 400,000 subscribers. But that's the narrative. That is the narrative that Gwinnetta, the trout mouth queen, is running with. Sonnetter is copying her. And if he don't stop copying her, she's going to tear his channel down and tear down the house of consciousness. And again, YouTube doesn't have a policy against YouTubers borrowing ideals from other YouTubers. Free expression. Free trade. What does she have to stand on? What does Gwinnetta have to stand on whereby she can destroy Sonnetter's channel? She's got a better chance of destroying my channel because I do speak to her and about her. But ain't no Gwinnetta Greer over there on the House of Consciousness. Ain't no deconstructing Gwinnett Greer over there. He ain't thinking about this raggedy mouth heifer. But that's the play. And so the play is to suck Sonetter into debating Israel doctrine. Oh, he wants Israel doctrine wants Sonetter, and of course Israel doctrine, he wants Khalil Amani in the squared circle in a debate forum. And so the play is Pizzy and Gwizzy got on the phone. And they concocted this scheme to get Sonetter's attention. All right, Queen, what you're going to do is you're going to accuse Sonetter and Sister Nepal of arguing on camera and, you know, stealing the way we argue on camera. Yeah, you attack them on that angle. And after you do that, you accuse Sonetter of running from Israel doctrine. And you accuse Sonetter of being afraid of me. You got that, Queen? You got it? I got it. So, I'm going to go on camera, and I'm going to accuse a man with 400,000 subscribers of copying the way we do YouTube. You know, how we argue. Yeah. And after I do that, after I lay that down, I'm going to say, I think you're scared to debate the king. Yeah. We're gonna play on his manhood. We're gonna try to force Sonetter into a debate. Well, bitch, let me explain something to you. Number one, Sonetter is not a debater. That's not what he does. Sonetter is like the Don King of black consciousness. What Sonetter does is bring together variant and aberrant and different theological and historical and nationalistic points of view. That's what he's good at. He's the Don King of that. He's no debater. The fuck is wrong with you, child mouth? It's not what he does. He brings people like Khalil Amani. He brings people like Brother Polite back in the day. He brings people like Garfield back in the day. He brings many people. Brother Jabari. Shaka Amos. He brings Native Americans on to talk about black people being Indians. He brings on Muslims and Christians and Hebrew Israelites and Moors. He brings on political figures. Sonetter is like the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey circus, respectfully. He rounds up, he's the ringleader. He rounds up different theological and historical and political points of view and make them talk about it and debate about it and such. That's what he does. Sonetter is not a debater, stupid bitch. And so, every now and again, when Sonetter is bored, every now and again, Sonetter will make his way over to Israel Doctrine's platform to dangle a carrot in his face, to you know, to play with those fuck niggas' clitoris and balls and nutsack. I mean, we all see what Sonetter's doing. Sonetter be bored sometime, and he'll go over to Israel Doctrine's platform and take the link and come up on camera and talk shit to Israel Doctrine and challenge him to a debate and then leave and won't never talk about it again. It's so easy to see what Sonetter's doing. He's just being flippant and funny. He's just dangling a carrot in Israel Doctrine's face. He's just hyping Israel Doctrine up for the hope of a debate knowing good and goddamn well. But Israel doctrine, he's so thirsty for a debate. And he knows as well as I know that Sonnetter is not a debater. Sonnetter is not a debater. But I tell you this, there's a video out there. I might find it down the road. There's a video out there where Sonnetter and Israel doctrine did debate. And guess what? No cap, no lie. Sonnetter ate that nigga's food. That's prison. That's prison talk for Sonnetter beat him up. Sonnetter ate that nigga's food. They were talking about Enoch and biblical time frames and shit like that. And Sonnetter ate that nigga's food on the Bible. That's like 4 or 5 years ago. I was watching it. There's a video out there somewhere. Israel doctrine, he can't even beat Sonnetter in a debate. And Sonnetter is not even a debater. Sonnetter, he just toys. He just jokes. He just plays with the ideal of debating Israel doctrine. But these two nutwings, Pizzy and Gwizzy, they're so stupid and so thirsty that Gwinnetta really thinks that Sonnetter wants to debate Israel doctrine. Not only that, Sonnetter already knows what a jackass Israel doctrine is. He already knows that. But this is a play y'all got going on, accusing Sonnetter of using the argument motif, the argument model that you think he stole from you, Pizzy and Gwizzy, and Sonnetter and Nepal been arguing on camera for years. For years. And you said it yourself, Trout Mouth Queen. You don't even watch Sonnetter, so you wouldn't know how they do it over there anyway. But look at you. You come out here with this harebrained scheme to try to entice Sonnetter to debate Israel doctrine. You're so out of touch. You don't even know when a motherfucker is just outright toying with you and playing with you. You niggas is thirsty. Sonnetter will never debate Israel doctrine. You can lie on that man and claim that he's stealing your motif. He's stealing your model of arguing with your co-host. But here's the thing, Trout Mouth Queen. Even if it's true, which it ain't, but even if it was true that Sonnetter is taking pointers, a man that has 2 channels with 200,000 people subscribe to him on each channel, but you think he's taking pointers from you, Trout Mouth Queen? But even if that was true, that's not a violation of YouTube guidelines. You can't attack his channel for using your so-called model of arguing. That's not against the YouTube guidelines, terms and conditions. YouTubers do that all the time. They watch other people and get different ideals about, whether it's how they want to present. When they want to wear shades, Hassan Campbell used to wear shades, and now I wear shades. I didn't get it from Hassan Campbell, but Hassan Campbell could accuse me if he wanted to. That Khalil Amani, he over there, he want to look cool. He got all kind of fly-ass sunglasses he likes to wear on camera, but he got that shit from me. No. I wear sunglasses because it's cool. I wear sunglasses sometimes because I do have a bright light. See? Let me show you. I got this bright ass light. This bright ass light is right in my face. So, that's really why I wear the sunglasses. And if I have to read something, I take my sunglasses off and put on my readers. So I just wanted to talk about that for a moment. It's bullshit. Sonetta is not copying your little stupid model of how y'all like to argue. Think about it. How does a man with 2 channels with 200,000 subscribers on each channel, how and why does he need to seek information on how to do YouTube from a YouTuber that can't bust 1,000 subscribers? That can't get anybody to even comment on her videos. If anything, Sonetta would look to a channel that has 1 million subscribers. Look to a channel that's double the size of his to find better ways to gain subscribers. But look at this bitch. Look at her, y'all. She really thinks that she can attack and tear down Sonetta's channel simply because she believes that they have similar models and motifs, ways of doing shit. The whole, his and her arguing back and forth, because Sonetta and Nepal, they argue back and forth sometimes, and Israel Doctrine and Gwinnett Greer, they argue back and forth. But the difference is there's far more respect and peace over on Sonetta's channel. He don't go to the lengths. He doesn't go to the lengths that Israel Doctrine goes when he goes at his queen. Israel Doctrine, he wishes death on his queen. But this is clearly a play to try to entice Sonetta to debate Israel Doctrine. I mean, Israel Doctrine, he just got his ass handed to him 2 weeks ago by Brother Judah Nazareth. Will the queen admit that her king lost that debate? No, she won't. So why does she want Sonetta to debate Israel Doctrine? She's not going to admit when Sonetta beats his ass. She's not going to admit it. If I debate Israel Doctrine and I tear his ass a new one, do you think that Gwinnett Greer is going to say, King, Khalil Amani whipped that ass? So it's pointless and it's fruitless. Because if you don't have the sincerity and the maturity to call it down the middle, then it's pointless. And this is why people don't want nothing to do with Israel Doctrine. Oh, his narrative every day, his narrative is that everybody on YouTube is afraid of him and his fake scholarship. That's what he has to say so that he may sleep at night. He boasts and brags, and he's been on YouTube for 17 years and ain't got shit to show for it. He's got one true follower, Gwinnett Greer. 17 years of doing YouTube, and you can't get 3 people in your chat that follow him. It's a shameful history of doing YouTube. 17 years, and you ain't got shit to show for it. Shame on Israel Doctrine and his in the grave channels. My stalker. Oh yeah, did y'all see the video I did called Stalking? Did y'all see the video I did called Persona? My goodness. My goodness. So that's that. And now he's on this. Now he's talking. Now he's trying to be a teacher. I'm talking about Israel doctrine. He's trying to be a teacher now. He's using this big word called eschatology. You see, Israel doctrine, he's a fake ass Hebrew Israelite. He's a fake ass Hebrew Israelite. He uses Christian terminology and motifs when it suits him. He's against the Catholic Church that he labels Catholic Christians, which is the stupidest phraseology in religious history. Let me talk about that for a moment. The ideal that Gwinnett Greer and Israel doctrine, they use the term Catholic Christians. Have you ever heard anybody outside of them use the terms Catholic Christian? It is a complete verbal piece of ignorance. Why do I say that? Who calls Catholics Catholic Christians? These two nutwings, that's who. What the fuck is a Catholic Christian? You know what saying the phrase Catholic Christian is like? Let me give you an example. Saying the phrase Catholic Christian that they came up with, it's like saying Christian Christian, or Muslim Muslim, or Israelite Israelite, or more, or Hebrew Israelite Hebrew Israelite. You see how I keep repeating those words? When Gwinnett Greer and Israel doctrine say Catholic Christian, let me say this. Dare I say that you can't find one book on religious history where you will come across an author, a writer, a religious historian that uses the phrase Catholic Christian. You know why you won't find that phrase in any book ever written? You know why you will not find the phrase Catholic Christian in any piece of literature? Because smart people and people that talk and study and read about religion, they know that Catholics are Christians. And so it becomes redundant. It becomes redundant to say Catholic Christians. Catholics are Christians, you dumb nitwit. And so this is a phrase that only Pizzy and Gwizzy say. You will not read one book on religion where the writer will ever use the phrase Catholic Christians, because people who are invested in understanding this subject, they know that Catholics are Christians. As a matter of fact, Catholics are some of the oldest Christians. As a matter of fact, there are more Catholics in the world than there are other types of Christians. And so there's no need to say Catholic Christian. It's stupid as fuck. And anybody that would use the phrase Catholic Christian, you are only exhibiting your ignorance. Not only that, if it were not for the Catholics, if it were not for the Catholics, they wouldn't have things like the King James Version of the Bible. If it were not for the Catholics, they wouldn't have this ideal that Jesus and God are the same, one and the same person. That is a Catholic invention. And so while Gwinnett Greer and Israel Doctrine try to make distinctions between Catholics and other Christians, while they like to call themselves Israelite Christians, much of what they believe can be found in Catholicism. They believe, Israel Doctrine and Gwinnett Greer, they believe that the Father and the Son are one. They believe that Jesus is the Son of God. And so, on one hand, they will shit on Catholicism. They will shit on the Catholics. They will misrepresent the Catholics by calling them Catholic Christians, while at the same time not even understanding that much of what they say comes right out of Catholicism. The ideal that Jesus and God are one, the ideal that Jesus is Son of God, that is a Catholic invention. That is Catholic theology. Even Israel Doctrine today talking about eschatology. See, on one hand, Israel Doctrine will say, if you can't find it in the Bible, then it doesn't exist. If you can't find it in the Bible, then I don't believe it. It doesn't exist. That's his argument when it comes to the phrase Hebrew Israelites. Even though we can find the two words Hebrew Israelite in the same book, 2 Corinthians, in the same chapter, chapter 11, and in the same verse 22. We find those two words damn near side by side. Are they Hebrews? So am I. Are they Israelites? So am I. Are they the seed of Abraham? So am I. That scripture is in the same book, the same chapter, and the same verse. But because those two words aren't side by side, Hebrew Israelite, a bitch nigga like Israel Doctrine will say, Hebrew Israelite don't exist. Show it to me in the Bible. But he doesn't hold true. He doesn't hold true with that same philosophy. Now he's teaching a big word called eschatology. Eschatology is not in the Bible. He says the same thing about Trinity. Trinity. Trinity's not in the Bible. Show me the word Trinity in the Bible. If you can't show me the word Trinity in the Bible, it don't exist. Well, what about eschatology? He's on an eschatological rant right now. Eschatology is not in the Bible. As a matter of fact, eschatology is a Greek word. From the Greek word eschata, meaning the end or end times. So Israel Doctrine, he chooses which words and phrases he likes to use. When it comes to Hebrew Israelite, he wants you to show it in the Bible. When it comes to eschatology, no, we don't care that the word eschatology is not in the Bible, because it's something he believes in. The word Trinity is not in the Bible. He doesn't believe in the Trinity. So then he comes back, he pulls that out of his pocket. Show it to me in the Bible. He picks and chooses when he wants to use the show it to me in the Bible. Another word. Israel doctrine calls himself a partial preterist. Preterist. Is preterist in the Bible? No, it's not. But it's okay. It's okay for him to be a partial preterist. Even though preterist is not in the Bible. But it don't matter. Israel doctrine calls himself something preterist. The word is nowhere in the Bible. But Hebrew Israelite are in the Bible, in the same book, in the same chapter, in the same verse. But because he doesn't like the phrase Hebrew Israelite, he resorts to show it to me in the Bible. Preterist, he don't say show it to me in the Bible. Eschatology, he don't say show it to me in the Bible. Catholic Christians, show it to me in the Bible. The phrase Catholic Christians not in the Bible. And guess what else is not in the Bible? These bozos, Israel doctrine and Gwinnett Greer, they also call themselves Israelite Christians. Can you show us the phrase Israelite Christian in the Bible? And the answer is hell to the no, no, no. The point I'm making is that Israel doctrine and that trout mouth lying ass child abuser, they pick and choose when they want to invoke the show it to me in the Bible commentary. They pick and choose. When it's something that they don't like, Trinity, Hebrew Israelite, then it's show it to me in the Bible. But the shit that they like, eschatology, preterists, they don't say, Israelite Christian. They forget all about the fact that preterist, that Israelite Christian, and eschatology are nowhere in the Bible. So their scholarship, if you can call it that, is very dishonest. It's very dishonest. They don't have the same litmus tests for all words spoken. My God. I said Israel doctrine calls himself an Israelite Christian. Gwinnett Greer calls himself an Israelite Christian, but there's not a single verse in the Bible that puts the words Christian or Israelite and Christian together. Not a single verse. Yet, they call themselves Israelite Christians, and they will not have you and I question them on that phrase. But then these motherfuckers will look at the phrase Hebrew Israelite, which is in the Bible, not side by side, but in the same book, in the same chapter, in the same verse, 2 Corinthians 11:22. That's real close. And they will argue you down. They will argue until the cows come home that it's incorrect to call oneself a Hebrew Israelite while at the same time calling themselves a phrase that's entirely not in the Bible. Israelite Christian. And just so my people know, the phrase Israelite Christian is an oxymoron. Israelite Christian, let me give you a visual of what that looks like. Remember as a children playing tug of war? You got a long rope. You got 2 or 3 people on that side and 2 or 3 people on that side. And they playing tug of war. And they're trying to see who's strongest and which side can bring the other side to their side. That's what the phrase Israelite Christian looks like. It looks like tug of war. It's an oxymoronic phrase. You know why it is? Simply put, Israelites are law keepers. Christians are law breakers. To be an Israelite, you must believe in the 613 laws, statutes, judgments, and commandments. You must believe in the Torah. You must believe in the Hebrew Bible. You must believe in all the feast days, the Feast of Tabernacles, the Feast of Weeks, the Passover, the Feast of Ingathering in Tents, Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah. You must believe in the Jewish law, in the Hebrew law, in the Israelite law that are found in Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. The first 5 books known as the Torah or the law. That's what Israelites believe in. Christians, those who follow Jesus Christ, they do not keep the 613 laws, statutes, judgments, and commandments of God. Christians, and when I say Christians, I'm talking about all Christians, whether you be Catholics, Protestants, Jehovah's Witnesses, Seventh-day Adventists, Southern Baptists, Holiness, Presbyterian, Methodists, Lutherans, Church of God in Christ, Kojic, Church of God, COG, Presbyterian, non-denominational, all forms of Christianity across the board. They do not keep the 613 laws, statutes, judgments, and commandments, because Christianity teaches across the board. I'm talking all Christianity, all the sects, all the denominations, all the cults of Christianity. They have one thing in common, and that is Jesus abrogated the law. The word abrogate means he did away with the law. It's about the law written on your heart, on your insides. This is what separates Christianity from Judaism or from the Israelite tradition. So how in the fuck can you be an Israelite Christian? How can you be a law keeper and a law breaker at the same goddamn time? It's oxymoronic. An Israelite and a Christian are the very juxtaposition and antithesis of one another, theologically speaking. You cannot be an Israelite and a Christian at the same time. And that's why, like the phrase Catholic Christian, which you can never find in any book, you can never find that phrase in any book. You will never find the phrase Israelite Christian in any book either, because they don't exist. These are things that Israel doctrine has made up and convinced Gwinnett Greer to believe in. That's all. You'll never find a book that talks about the Israelite Christians. They don't exist. Because you can't be an Israelite. You can't be one who believes in the 613 laws and then be a Christian, a Christ follower, when Christianity, all of the divisions and cults and sects and denominations of Christianity teach that the law, that the Old Testament law is done away with in Jesus' birth, dying on the cross, and resurrecting from the grave. The premise and foundation of Christianity is that we don't have to keep those old, archaic, and antiquated and outdated laws in the first 5 books of the Hebrew Bible, aka the Old Testament. This is Religion 101. This is why Israel doctrine can't get a following, because he has to find people that are stupid enough to buy into a concept of a law keeper and a lawbreaker and call themselves an Israelite Christian. A complete oxymoron. A complete 180-degree theological difference. Yeah. I'm just having fun. I'm just having fun. And then let's move on and talk about Enoch and Melchizedek. Enoch and Melchizedek. Now, Israel doctrine, he got scorched. He got beat up again just today. Just today, he had a young man on his channel. That proved that Enoch never died. I don't even know why it's a point of contention. It says it in the Bible. Enoch didn't die. He was translated. If you've ever seen, not Star Wars, Captain Kirk, Starship Enterprise, whatever that show was. Whenever Captain Kirk and Spock and the others wanted to go visit another planet, Star Trek. Whenever they wanted to go visit another planet, they go to a room and they stand in a circle. And a man would hit a button and they would vaporize. You see them, they stand there, and all of a sudden you see a bunch of, rain or fog, and they're gone. And next thing you know, they appear on planet Umfufu. That's what translated means. You don't die, you just evaporate and you appear somewhere else. Israel doctrine, he wants to hold on to the scripture that says, in Adam we all die. That's what Paul said. But clearly, in Genesis, we read about a man named Melchizedek, and we read about a man named Enoch. We read that Enoch simply vanished. The Bible even says that Enoch didn't die. He didn't die, according to the Old Testament and the New Testament. But Israel doctrine, he wants to hang his hat on one obscure scripture by the Apostle Paul that says, in Adam we all die. But let me tell you what Israel doctrine's hypocrisy is. And I can pull the YouTube video When Israel Doctrine was debating Judah Nazareth, guess what Israel Doctrine said? Somebody dare me to pull the goddamn audio. Put it in the comment section. Dare me to pull the audio. You know what Israel Doctrine said? He's a staunch believer that every man and woman must die. Even though it says that Enoch never died, he never saw death, that he was translated, he still wants to come behind and say, one scripture, Paul says that in Adam we all die. Well, what are you going to believe? Now we know that Paul wrote the Adam we all die, and it is said that Moses wrote the book of Genesis. So who do you want to believe? Moses, who tells us that Enoch was lifted up by a whirlwind and left the earth alive, according to Moses? Or do you want to believe Paul's report that in Adam we all die? I might teach on it down the road, but I'm talking about it. But going back, before I get off the point, when Israel Doctrine was debating Judah Nazareth, guess what he said about Melchizedek? Israel Doctrine said Melchizedek never died. I know. Again, he picks and chooses what he wants to say based on the subject and who he's debating. And so, on one hand, Israel Doctrine believes the Apostle Paul when Paul says, in Adam we all die. Therefore, Enoch died. Even though we have clear scriptures that say Enoch did not die. It's a hard pill to swallow when you're hanging on to the words of a rat bastard like the Apostle Paul when Moses wrote that Enoch never died. But when Israel Doctrine was debating Judah Nazareth about Melchizedek, he said that Melchizedek never died. He forgot for the moment his Enoch conversation wherein he cites the Apostle Paul who says in Adam we all die. But for the Judah Nazareth debate, he forgot the Adam we all die shit. And he said it. And I think I'll look for it and maybe come back and really get into it. But Israel Doctrine said that Melchizedek never died. The reason that Israel Doctrine would say that Melchizedek never died is because he wanted to make Melchizedek, the Jesus of old who continues the priesthood until this very day. So he can't die. But according to the Bible, according to the Genesis, and according to the New Testament book of Hebrews, Melchizedek also sidesteps death. The Old Testament reports that Melchizedek had no mother or father, no beginning of days or end of days, but remains a perpetual priest of the Lord God. That's what it says in the Old Testament. And then some anonymous writer writes a book called Hebrews, a work that is accredited to the Apostle Paul, But all scholars say that the book of Hebrews was written by an anonymous source. All scholars agree that the Apostle Paul did not write the book of Hebrews. But in the Christian myth-making era, the 1st and 2nd and 3rd and 4th centuries, an anonymous writer would come along and write a book and call it Hebrews, and then they would give that credit to the Apostle Paul. And so the book of Hebrews is known as a pseudo-Pauline writing. You know what the word pseudo means? False, fake. The book of Hebrews is also called a Deutero-Pauline work. The word deutero means secondary. Again, all scholars agree that it was an anonymous writer and not the Apostle Paul who wrote the book of Hebrews. But in early Christian myth-making, this anonymous writer would look at the Melchizedek and the Enoch of Genesis and would elaborate on it. This writer would say that Enoch did not see death, that he was translated, and he uses the word translated or translation like 3 times. He builds his myth on the Genesis version. Same thing with Melchizedek. The Old Testament said that Melchizedek was without mother or father, without beginning nor end. And the New Testament would build their Christian myth on Melchizedek. And so for that instance, although Israel doctrine is a staunch believer that all people that are born must die, for that one instance, it was a faux pas, misstep. Those of us who have followed Israel doctrine's teaching, we caught it. I certainly caught it. Israel doctrine hangs his hat on the scripture that says, in Adam we all die. But when he debated Judah Nazareth, he actually said Melchizedek didn't die. Got him! Got him! In other words, this fuck nigga, I don't know if it's the stroke. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. But on one hand, he's a staunch advocate that in Adam, all men die. But when it came to Melchizedek, he said Melchizedek didn't die. And when it came to Enoch, even though the book says Enoch didn't die, he simply left the earth and went to heaven. He believes that Enoch died. And so it becomes, who do you want to believe? Do you want to believe Hebrews, an anonymous writer? Do you want to believe Corinthians, that rat bastard liar, the Apostle Paul? Or do you want to believe the first person narrative of where all the shit comes from, the book of Genesis, that it is accredited to Moses as having written? We know Moses didn't write Genesis. We know he didn't. No scholar worth his salt believes that Moses wrote Genesis. But for the sake of argument, who do you want to believe? An anonymous writer that wrote Hebrews and the rat bastard liar, the Apostle Paul? Or do you want to believe the original source of Hebrews and the Apostle Paul's work, the original source being Moses and the book of Genesis. And so, these niggas are all over the place. There's no such thing as an Israelite Christian. There's no such thing as a Catholic Christian. If it weren't for the Catholics and Catholicism, as I've done, and I'll redo it on my new channel, it was the Catholic Church that gave you the King James Bible. Facts upon facts. It was the Catholic Church that gave you the Son of God model. It was the Catholic Church that gave the world every other branch and sect and cult and denomination of Christianity. Other than the Ethiopian Coptic Church, the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, which predates the Catholic Church. Other than the Africans, the Ethiopian Church, Catholicism, the Catholic Church gave you all that you know about Jesus. The Catholic Church gave you the Greek Orthodox Church. The Catholic Church gave you the Jehovah's Witnesses. The Catholic Church gave you the Seventh-day Adventists. The Catholic Church gave you the Southern Baptists and the Holiness. The Catholic Church is the mother church of the world. And so while Pizzy and Gwizzy, Israel Doctrine, and Gwinnett Greer like to talk about paganism and what they don't like and pagan holidays, and they act like they have divorced themselves from all things Catholic. You might not celebrate Christmas, Pizzy and Gwizzy. You might not celebrate Easter, Pizzy and Gwizzy. You might not go to church on Sunday, Pizzy and Gwizzy. And because you don't go to church on Sunday, because you don't celebrate Easter and Christmas, you think you have divorced yourself from Catholicism and the Catholic Church. But you haven't. You believe that Jesus and God are one. That is a Catholic invention. You believe that Jesus Christ is Son of God. That is a Catholic invention. You believe that Jesus was born of a virgin without a man and a woman having sex. That is a Catholic invention. You niggas believe in the King James Bible. That is a Catholic invention. And so while you fancy yourselves uninvolved with Christmas and Easter, I love me some Christmas, you are still woefully bitten by the Catholic Church. You're just too ignorant to know that much of your theology is from the Catholic Church. And now that Israel Doctrine is on this so-called eschatology, even the ideal of eschatology comes through the Catholic Church. I know you niggas want to be divorced of the Catholic Church. Why are you talking about eschatology? Eschatology is linked back to the great early Christian church father Augusta. Augustine. Augustine, who wrote the book. Let me see if I can find Augustine. Augustine, Augustine. It's a small little book. Let me see if I can find it here. Da 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 da. Augustine. I'm not there. I might not be able to find it, but I'm definitely going to look. I'm definitely going to look and see if I can find it. Maybe I can't. I got it on my shelf, but I don't know where it's at. Let's take one more look. One more look. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Let's see. Every book you want to see, you see. Except, there it is. I said Israel doctrine. Oh, it's almost time to go. Israel doctrine is over there. He and Gwinnetta talking reckless about the Catholic Church. And now he's on this so-called eschatology trip. But the fuck nigga don't know that one of the great teachers of eschatology was a man named Augustine, Saint Augustine, a North African. Saint Augustine was one of the early church fathers of the Catholic Church, a North African who laid the groundwork for modern Christian eschatology. And so, we go back to Catholicism. You can't escape Catholicism if you want to talk about Jesus. Sorry, not sorry. This is what they don't teach you. I said eschatology, this big old word, and the fuck nigga doesn't even give a definition of eschatology. It's a big word, but it is a Greek word. It is the study of end time prophecies, but it goes back through the Catholic Church on back to a form of Christianity called Donatinism. But St. Augustine, he wrote hellaciously on the subject of eschatology. But St. Augustine was a Catholic. All right, y'all. Y'all had fun. I might be all over the place, but just wanted to come on and talk my shit. Talk my shit. They just all over the place over there. Wow. What the hell was that? Sonetter is never debating Israel doctrine. Sonetter is not a debater. Sonetter just tickles their fancy. Sonetter just finger fucks Gwinnetta with the ideal of debating her king. Sonetter just puts a thumb up Israel doctrine's booty and fingers his prostate and makes him ejaculate with the ideal of going on his channel with those 200,000+ subscribers to be seen and heard. Sonetter is not a debater. He only comes over there just to fuck with those two niggas. But they are so stupid that they don't even know when Sonetter is toying with them and fucking with them and jesting with them. They don't even understand it. They really think Sonnetter wants to debate. Sonnetter don't want to debate. And Sonnetter is not afraid of Israel doctrine. I am not afraid of Israel doctrine in a debate. Nobody is. But Israel doctrine, so he can sleep at night, he says that we are afraid of him. So he can sleep at night, he calls me his stalker when he is my stalker. And Gwinnetta Greer, she's my stalker also. Have you noticed every time my name comes up, you can best believe that Gwinnetta Greer is going to say the same thing. I don't even watch the bitch ass nigga. I don't even know what the bitch ass nigga did. I know how to beat him up. She hasn't beat me up. She took one of my channels. Okay. Shit happens. But if you notice, every time Gwinnetta wants to mention me, I don't watch the bitch ass nigga. What are you talking about? And she's talking about J. Mike, Florida, her hand. And what's up with that bitch nigga? Nigga, come on back out. God damn. It's just YouTube. I know. Come out and apologize and get back to lying. I really miss fucking you up, nigga. J. Mike, Florida. I miss you, my nigga. Come on back out and tell some more lies so I can spank that ass again. All right, y'all. Shout out to Leak U, Interloper Nation. Shout out to Reverend X. Shout out to Zartan. Shout out to Harris, Duncan. Shout out to everybody that fucks with me. Jafar the Messenger, Black Man. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to those who watch but never comment. Just make sure you subscribe to my channel. Don't worry, as I get bigger, I'm just saving my best shit. I only got 67 subscribers, so I'm just trying to, I'm doing this bullshit now. When I get to 1,000 and beyond, I'm going to get back into really teaching and talking about my experiences and stuff like that. It's just not worth me doing it 67 people. But in the meantime, we'll have fun with this kind of shit. All right? Until I see y'all again. Yeah, I got a lot of vacations coming up. I'm excited. I might even go live a couple of times, but I will be doing videos of my adventures for your pleasure. All right? I love you all for a better world. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Peace.